What's up, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Navigating Dental Insurance Podcast. I am your host today, Jordon Comstock. Ben is out playing again. I think he's going to Florida and hanging out and being a cool dude. While I'm stuck in Utah. But today I got an awesome friend and guest, Dr. Eric Roman. Eric, what is up, dude? How are you doing?
Yo, Jordan, it's good to be with you, man. And hey, you can complain, but Utah's a freaking awesome place to
I
be.
know Utah's pretty incredible. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
more joking.
one brother to another out here
Yeah.
in Utah
Welcome.
enjoying.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, look at your background right now. Anybody
Yep.
that can see the video can see a gorgeous high blue
That's
sky and some mountains over there to the to
so
the
good.
east of you. You're living, dude.
Yeah, it's good. And you got your Hawaiian shirt on.
Yeah,
My,
yeah. I was living Aloha this month for a bit, and so I feel like I've kind of brought it back with me now that I'm back in the groove.
so my wife is in Kona right now because we own some real estate over there,
Ona in
and
Kona.
in Kona, Hawaii, yeah. And I'm so jealous. She just texted me this morning a picture of the beach that she's on right now, and I'm like, Utah is cool, but there's
Yeah.
there's cooler places.
There is cooler places. You will not get an argument. You will not get
Yes,
an argument.
no.
Like today is not going to be the ranking of cool places in summer, but we could do that.
Yeah, we can do that. So, Eric, for people that don't know you, which that's most people know you,
Man, I
tell
don't.
tell tell our audience you've done a lot in dentistry, and you know dentistry really well. Tell our audience your background in our industry.
You know what? I've lived many lives, Jordan. Many, many lives.
Yes, you have.
All of my lives have been as a DSO operator since the moment I emerged fresh into this industry as a dentist. I've built and exited two totally different groups. I've spent the past 7 years coaching several billion in dental group revenue in pretty much every facet. Like I go through cycles. I've been a KOL for pretty much all of our friends and all the amazing companies in this industry, really getting to know them. And for the past couple of years, I've been focusing all my energy in something I feel like nobody else is doing. And that is what I consider to be like the associate dentist crisis. And so focusing on developing associates, but maybe even more than that, giving those that have the duty and are growing through associates the ability to take great care of them and have like simple systems that get great results and give us
Sure.
better results and better or lower turnover. So that's my life. Dental associate growth. That's the name of my
Yeah.
company right now. That's what we do.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I know that's a big challenge too. Just trying to
Golly, bro. Like,
trying to
yeah.
work with associates in that's a I've heard lots of different stories. I'm sure we
Well,
can
associates
dive
are
into
people
those.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is, it's interesting. More than half of the industry out there, if you look out your window right now and you look at the greater population, more than half the dentists in this country are working in an associate position right now. And
Interesting.
so, yeah, it's like quite wild when you think about how in a generation we've pivoted from mostly owners to mostly non-owner employee dentists.
Fascinating.
And it comes with a lot of unexpected hurdles. And so, yeah, I actually think our industry as a whole is paying the price for it.
Yeah.
Choosing that this is going to be a place where I apply myself. I feel like it's been my story for 20 years that I just didn't expect. But choosing this also results in a lot of like additional baldness and me hitting my head against the wall every single day. So it is the
I
struggle is
bet.
real. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I could tell stories and data points all day, but that's another podcast for another afternoon.
I'm sure we can get into it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want
My
to cry on this one today.
All right, we won't embarrass you. Um, very good. I was reading an article the other day because I guess I wake up and I read about
Yeah,
the dental industry. Uh,
yeah.
I must be boring. Maybe if you ask my
I think
daughters, they'll
it's
be like,
fun.
"You're so
I
boring."
think
It's
it's
fun.
fun.
I
I
like
nerd
reading
with
about
you,
it.
dude.
Yeah, yeah, we
Yeah,
can nerd out together.
it's
Um,
better than reading about politics. So
yeah, oh yeah, that
you
just
might as
pisses
well
you
pick
off.
dentistry.
That just pisses you off. So I was reading a article from the ADA, and it said basically we're in a financial crunch in the industry, where revenue growth over the past 5 years has been 1.4% in the space, and expense growth
Mhm.
and cost growth for our dental practice has grown by 4.9%. So roughly three and a half times
Yeah.
more than revenue increasing. That's a big issue in our industry, and it's borderline stagflation. which is kind of scary.
Not borderline,
So,
like
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, I'm guessing you talk, and I know you operate practices too. So, like,
Yeah.
what are you seeing out there? I'm just curious on your thoughts on the state of the industry right now.
Well, so first, I think like that article is saying what I believe most of us are seeing. Now, listen, there's some outliers that probably aren't seeing that.
Absolutely, yeah.
But for the vast majority of us, I see it every day in the groups that I work with. Everyday
Okay.
groups are dying right now inside of this. They're dying inside of that variable. Private practices are dying inside of that variable.
Yeah.
And so point number one, super accurate. Like I don't think anybody's going to argue with you. Now, this isn't just, but this has been building over time.
Like 15 years, I was reading an
Yes.
article, it's saying it's like the 15-year like
Exactly. And
runway.
I know why. I have theories why. I
Yeah.
have a lot of reasons why. We could talk about that. But the second point that I'll make, Jordan, is that you actually undervalue what's happening when you say, okay, well, one's growing at 1 point something percent, the other's at 4.
Yeah.
What actually matters when we remove that and we go apples to apples, what we're actually pointing out is a 4-to-1 ratio. Like that's the thing. So you think 1%,
Yeah.
4%, that doesn't really affect me. No, bro, or milady. Like this is a 4-to-1 ratio that your expenses are outpacing your revenue growth.
Hmm.
And that is extraordinary. That's not like a little thing. 4-to-1 ratio of expense growth over revenue growth. You are getting crushed.
Yeah.
Crushed. I mean, I'll tell you right now where I see this, like in my business dental associate growth, what we are seeing is that I would say a large percentage of practices operated by associates are not profitable. They're not profitable in an associate model
Interesting.
because the expense ratio is
With two
higher
docs?
is higher than the revenue than
Is
the
it
yeah.
is it so they have two docs, so they got two big salaries to feed. Is that what you're
You know,
seeing?
whether it's a salary or
Or
whether it's
commissions?
even
Yeah.
commission, we're not with the expenses going up. And we've got I mean, the expenses are going up everywhere from
Yeah.
team to services to equipment to everything. So with expenses going up, the revenue is not outpacing it. We didn't have some practices that I work with, their margin on associates on good days were 5 to 10%. That meant
Whoa.
if associate produced $1 million, the practice made 50,000. That's a 5% margin. That's
Oh
what
my
a lot of
goodness.
us were seeing. So now that 5% is zero.
It's gobbled up.
It's gobbled up. And so now, I mean, listen, this is DSOs in crisis.
Yeah.
DSOs operate on an associate model generally. And so this is why DSOs are like having to recapitalize, and the recapitalization market's like, you are not worth what your debt is. So it's ugly, dude. Carnage.
Yeah. Yeah, it is ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, how I interpret it, that was really good. I like your viewpoint on that. You know, I look at the industry for as long as I have, and I see PPO reimbursements not aiding our fellow friends in dentistry
Yeah.
with this, you know, and I think there's too many practices on too many PPOs, especially in Utah. You know Utah.
Oh
They got
boy,
a
do I
wacky
ever.
here.
I'm learning it faster than I ever wanted to, man.
Yeah. So, like, what's your viewpoint on that? Like, how, I guess a better question is, okay, we know the data, it's crummy.
Mhm.
It's an interesting market. It's can be discouraging. Like, how do we combat this in the
Yeah.
space?
Yeah. So, well, couple things is like, let's talk about why we are where we are. Like you
Yeah.
just started it. Number one, you talked about reimbursement.
Yeah.
Our reimbursement hasn't matched like the inflation. It hasn't matched like any of the other shifts that are happening. So, we're getting paid less to do the
Yeah.
same thing that costs us more. So we have a problem there.
Yeah.
And listen, one thing that's helpful. I mean, listen, I've been doing this 20 years now,
Yeah.
and because of a lot of my relationships, I have an even bigger scope of historical awareness.
Sure.
Industry operates in cycles, and
Sure.
if you're new to the industry, you only have the wisdom and knowledge of what you've seen.
Your experience.
Um,
Yeah.
one of the things that I love, and this is like maybe call me a free market economist. One of the things I
Sure.
love about the free market economic system is constraint and scarcity. They, in a free market system, they promote innovation and
Yeah,
change
I agree.
that leads the way to a new like golden era. We get to a golden era and we get fat. We had a really nice run and we get fat and we forget about what it's like to suffer, and
Yeah,
then the market catches up, and then now all of a sudden we're in scarcity again. And that is like the history of America.
that is great. I
And
love how you simplified that. That's really
it's
interesting.
also the history of dentistry.
Yeah.
And so we are right like this when I came into the industry in 2007, 2007,
Okay.
2002,
So I, I
2007.
came I came a year after you.
Hey, look at us kids.
Yeah. In
When we
this
came in, dude,
recession.
it was hard freaking
It was
times.
so hard. Yeah.
Really hard times. But you know what? Like you've heard the like whole thing like hard times make like strong men strong.
Yes.
Like you know that, and that was really the reality of what happened in dentistry. Hard times make strong dentists and strong practices. Strong dentists make easy times, and easy
And then
times.
it cycles. Yeah.
It's just the way that it works. So we are where we are. Several other things. So reimbursement is number one,
Yeah.
right? From the last cycle, a lot of people got great moves on PPOs. It wasn't as bad as we thought it was. We learned to negotiate. Now we're here and the tide's turning the other way. Our cost structure has gone through the roof. Number one cost that we always have in practices, always the biggest line item on your P&L is your people.
Yes.
And our people, not only did we lose during the the COVID crisis, did we
COVID.
lose
Yeah.
all of our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable. So we lost all of our knowledge people. They said, screw this. I don't want to be a part of this right now. And so they all left. So we lost all of our brains. Then what we still had was a massive increase in compensation in what was already our highest and most expensive line item. But then the third thing is all of our equipment, all of our supplies, those things are increasing and inflating in cost significantly.
Yeah.
Those costs get passed on to us. Companies don't care. Like
Hmm.
we don't have a choice. They're going to pass them on to us.
Yeah.
And there's one other thing that in 2007, there was a lot of equipment that you could practice without that wasn't a big deal. In fact, I knew
Yeah.
practices in the early 2000s that had not 70% overhead, but 70% margins. They were practices that were super lean,
Yeah.
no technology, no anything, like dirt cheap. And they
The
had,
doctors pouring the models and
dude, like they had
waxing up the
70%
crown.
profit margins.
Yeah.
You will not see any of those anymore. Like a dentist will not work in that environment come hell or high water. So,
Yeah.
like, this is now a world where we have to have a CT. We have to have this CAD cam. We have to have this thing. We have to,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
we have 10,000 subscriptions to things that supposedly make our lives easier as well.
Yeah.
And so we actually have a cost burden we didn't have before, not just through inflation, but through additional things. So
Yes.
those are the massive variables.
Yeah, because the technology, even like when I started in the industry, I literally the first thing that I learned how to do was wax a gold crown, and then a year later I had to start learning CAD CAM. I was like in the transition era in the high tech dental industry from the low tech, right?
And
It was
now
wild.
nobody on earth is waxing.
Yeah.
They're 3D printing it, or they're
Yep.
just purely they're milling it and designing it and
Yeah.
like all that stuff in the cyberspace.
Yeah, exactly.
And so how quickly one generation, massive shifts,
Yeah.
and the entire time the dentist is getting pinched and pinched and pinched and pinched. Last thing that I will say about this though, uh, do you know what's always made dentistry great?
What?
Listen, if you want to run a restaurant, like say you want to run a restaurant franchise or whatever else, restaurant franchises are operating on sometimes 2% profit margins. Like
Yes.
we're talking 2 to 5% profit margins.
Stressful.
And dude, look outside, bro. How many restaurants are there? And they are
There's
fighting
so
tooth
many.
and nail.
Yeah.
They've got heavy overhead. They've got all the supply costs, and they got to manage the crap out of it to get their 2 to 5% margin. I had a buddy that ran Sonics, like Sonic drive-ins, and he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, if my food cost goes up, I have no profit. Like I have to change hamburger manufacturers if like they're going to go up because I can't survive because my margins are so thin. And yet
Jeez.
I've got 17 of these locations and 141 employees in it. Like we got to do it. So dentistry, like you got these big old fat profit margins, man. Like
Yeah.
relatively in general, we had fat profit margins, way fatter than our brothers and sisters in medicine
Restaurant.
and in
Oh yeah.
other verticals, way fatter than everybody else. And the world recognized it. Like, and
Mm.
so this is why the DSO space exists.
Exists, yeah.
DSOs like Wall Street said, wait, why should we start gobbling up all these restaurant franchises at 5% best when we can gobble up dental practices at
Yeah.
30% or 25%? I'm like, what have we been doing the whole time? So when and everybody realizes it and everybody wants a piece of our pie,
Yeah.
Jordan.
Hmm.
And so we also have to take into account like our industry now has a bunch of people in here who have all decided dentists are making a lot of money. We want to cut of that. So,
Yeah, sure.
problem statement.
It's a noisy industry.
Golly, not easy. What are we going to do? We're going to just tap out.
No way. That's not what
Go
we do.
sell. Let's go sell real estate, right? Like,
No.
which a lot of dentists roll the dice on a bunch of other stupid things
Yeah.
instead of focusing on dentistry because dentistry is hard.
Yeah.
If you are sitting there and you're feeling like, gosh, this industry is oppressive and hard, you're right. And
Yep.
yet, my I've run away, Jordan. I've run
Yeah.
away from the things that are hard about it. I can totally acknowledge that, but I think part of why we're here is we were created for this,
Yeah.
and like this is your
Sure.
skill and this is your capability. Might not be easy to solve it, but it's actually not easy to go solve other things either. Like that aren't.
No, no matter what you do that's worth something, it's hard to, it's always a challenge, right?
Turns out
Everything.
I'm not as good a real estate developer as I am a dental operator.
Yeah.
I've tested this theory and
There,
it's not what I thought.
yeah, you got, if you know, like one of my best mentors told me, probably in my early 20s, when I was managing a dental lab and it was hard and I was discouraged and I was stressed. And one of my mentors said, I'm like, I just want to leave the industry and do something else, right?
Yep.
All of us have had that mindset around it.
Most mornings.
And and my mentor looked at me and he's like, why would you go try? You know the dental industry so well.
Yeah.
You know it like the back of your hand. You've been in it a long time. Why would you go and try to learn something new and start the relearning process? And I'm like, oh, that's really good practical advice. So I never left, and that's when I created Boom Cloud because of that kind of constraint that he gave me.
And we have all
And
benefited from your choice.
maybe some, not all. But I think no, you're absolutely right. This is a fantastic industry.
It really is, man. And it still is.
It still
We
is.
still have extraordinary opportunity. What you just said was that we all like it's the oldest adage. We all think that the grass is greener on the other side
Yeah,
of the fence, but it's a
yeah,
different type of grass.
yeah,
And what's crazy is that despite the fact that it looks greener, right? You get there and you realize I actually really I've spent 20 years taking care of that lawn. I know every blade of grass and I actually really know how to take care of it. I
yeah,
just am tired of like fertilizing and doing the work in my own yard, but it's actually the easiest, fastest way to succeed. Just
yeah.
shut up and do the work in your own yard that you know so well.
I love it. Yeah,
And that's why I'm back in dentistry. I've taken 3 exits from the dental industry.
yeah,
And like each time I learned some more of those exact lessons.
sure.
And I'm just here in joy now and in satisfaction and excitement about what it is. And our future is beautiful here in
I
dentistry.
agree. I agree.
Anybody that's like death knelling and like telling all that stuff, like and this is also history. In all
Yeah,
of history, at all of these turning points, you really separate between the people that are just like negative Nancy. I'm sorry if your name's Nancy, but like you know it is stereotype.
yeah,
Negative Ned and negative Nancy, and they're doing their like they always exist. And the future belongs to the people right now. The stress and the strain will create a lot of diamonds for those
yes,
that decide to like step into it. So
I agree.
how we gonna do this?
I agree 1,000% with that mindset. Yeah. So, I think there's a lot of ways to do it, but it is I guess it's a time or a calling of optimizing the industry. Like how can we improve the current landscape? And yes, there's always opportunity to do that, you know.
Okay,
Th-
so what are Eric Roman's greatest leverage points?
let's do it. Yeah.
Do you want to start
See,
pulling levers?
let's do it. Yeah, let's hear your levers.
Um, again, these are my levers, whatever. So, um, defense isn't going to be the way that I feel like we win this game. I think we win the game through offense.
Okay.
In other words, defense by fighting really hard to trim costs. I don't think that that's going to be the best strategy to get over the magnitude of the hump that we're facing. It's that 4-to-1
Yeah.
ratio.
Yes.
And so there will be good defense. Technology will theoretically give us defense. Where we're at right now with AI doesn't look like it's saving anybody any money right now, and that's true. But we're at a very early stage. We will see commoditization of a lot of these technologies that will make things
Yes.
easier and that will reduce cost burden for us. Now, that's going to happen slowly but surely. And you need to keep your eye on it. But I don't think that that defense of cost cutting is going to solve the problem that we have.
Yeah.
Our greatest opportunity, our greatest opportunity is the truth that the majority of the work that is out there. So again, I love looking out your window because I love a background like this. Look at all the rooftops, look at all the houses, look at all the businesses, all the people going by on I-15. And like the majority of the dental work that's out there is not getting done.
Yeah.
80% of the dental need in society inside of this country is not of the opportunity, isn't getting addressed. We are doing a very small portion of what's out there, a very
Hmm.
small portion. The opportunity is huge.
Yeah.
And so our greatest opportunity is to be able to do more of the treatment that is waiting out there in society. Society is by and large in a weird, we are as a human race, when you look at us over thousands of years, we are healthier and like than we have ever really been. Now, I know
Yeah.
you can argue about life expectancy and all that stuff. There's a lot of other variables, but in general, we're the healthiest we've ever been. There's more people with more money to do more dental work than there has ever
Yeah.
been throughout at any point in society, you know, and like Jordan Peterson says it all the time, the rising tide is raising all the ships. And no matter what your political perspective, the doom and gloom, when you step back, like we are humanity is at the richest and there is the least poverty there has ever been at any time in humankind. That
Yeah.
means more people can afford the dentistry they need than they have ever had. Our greatest opportunity is making it simple and easy for more people to do the dentistry that they want to do. That is the upside. And our role in society has shifted. And many dentists have not captured this. Dentists used to be perceived as the expert in society on this. What that meant was they were the first and last word. When the dentist said, Mrs. Jones, you need this, Mrs. Jones was like, well, I don't really want to do it, but the dentist is the expert. So I will say yes and I will do this. That was treatment planning and case acceptance. Dentist said something, patient did something.
Yeah.
That is not the model anymore. That model is gone, has been long gone because you are no longer the first, second, or third thing that your patient has asked. They ask Google, they ask ChatGPT, and
Yep.
they've watched YouTube videos and TikTok, and it doesn't matter whether they're accurate or anything like that. Your patients see that as expertise. They're actually coming to you for something different. They're coming to you to see if you can make it easy for them to do the things that they have often already decided they need to do. That's a really big shift. And it means a
Yeah, it
change in
is.
behavior. That is the single greatest lever and upside that we have. It is increasing case acceptance through behavior and through optimizing our practice experience to address what the social construct of our nation is now asking for.
Yeah.
Like dentists used to, I mean, listen, in dental school, we were trained, shut up and do what I said. I know better than you. I'm summarizing dental school.
Yeah,
I'm the
sure.
expert. You're the idiot. You need a crown. Shut up and do the crown that I told you. That is like, that is dental school education in a nutshell. And then now dentists are like, well, I did what I was supposed to do. How come they didn't say yes? Well, because they didn't care.
Because that's not
And
how it
like
works. Yeah.
they weren't looking for that. So I know this might not be a popular answer. What this means is that it's time for a revolution in how dentists used to think they served patients by doing dental treatment. No. We now serve patients by meeting our patients where they are and giving them what they need to be able to say yes. That's a very different thing than just saying,
Very.
"Oh, I did 40 crowns. Like I'm a great." Nah. Like now it's different. Now it's about meeting our patients, understanding what they're asking for, listening and communicating in ways we never have. Um, and and optimizing our practices around the PPO conundrum that we're in, man. Like
Yeah.
this has got boom cloud written all over this. Like you've recognized this tide for a really long time, hence the reason we have this podcast. We have to be we if we are slave to the PPO,
Yeah.
we go down with the market. You've got to figure out how your product inside of your practice has to give patients a reason to pay more than what the PPO covers.
Yeah.
That's like, or has to give them another option that might be in their best interest that's not
Yeah.
to go directly through the PPO. That's like, this is product innovation 101. When
Yep.
the market gets tough, those that are wise are going to innovate and they're going to get the patients. They're going to get, I don't need to say anything else. What do you think, Jordan? What are your thoughts on my,
No, I love this.
yeah.
No, I completely agree with you on the levers, you know. I do think um dentists need to make dentistry easier and more convenient because that's exactly how patients think, including myself as
Me
a patient,
too.
right? It's like, okay, yeah, so I'm a big believer on, of course, membership plans, as you mentioned, but you know, you said
Yeah.
boom club, but membership plans in general. Like I got a story of a practice up in Idaho, Dr. Dan Nelson and Dr. Jared Hill, good dudes. They just dropped Delta, and
Mhm.
they're in this market, right, where it's like low revenue, high cost. And here they have just dropped Delta, and they're the happiest dudes, right? They
Yeah.
signed up like a little over 1,000 membership patients on their program, and which generates like 50K a month in recurring revenue.
Yeah.
And then they control, they're not a slave to the PPO. So of course, I've always been a huge believer that, I mean,
Also
for
though,
a long
but
time.
like I want to point out, like the only reason that the membership plan is working isn't because of like a sales thing or something like that. It's because patients also recognize that it's in their best interest. Like
Yeah.
that's the key. And so what you're pointing out is that like the really cool thing is that our patients are also wise to what's going on. See, when you present the values of your membership plan and your patient is looking at their PPO stuff, do you know what many of our patients are smart enough to do? They're going to take a photo of your pamphlet that you gave them on the membership plan and a
Yep.
photo of their insurance card, and they're going to put it in Chat GPT or
Yep.
Claude and say, analyze this, and here's a photo of my treatment plan, which would save me more money. And the thing's going to be like, oh, you're going to be far better, and it's going to be far more flexible, and there's going to be no denials with the membership plan, far
Yeah.
easier pathway for you if you like the dentist that you have. And
Yeah.
so it's like, well, holy crap, I'm in. And that's the stage of society that we're at. It's like live
Yep.
by the sword, die by the sword. But I mean, that's what I'm doing everywhere that I go right now. I'm not doing math inside my head anymore. I'm like,
Yeah.
photograph,
I do that
run an
too.
analysis, ask
Yeah.
me the 10 questions that like you would need to know to help me decide which of these is a better pathway for me and my
Yeah.
family. Done.
Yep. And you know, yeah, I would imagine the majority of patients out there are doing that in everything. It just, I
I
mean,
do.
I do. I'm doing that pretty much constantly all day.
I I I I I've
It's
been
pretty crazy.
self-employed for years. We're on a membership plan. Like
Yeah,
I don't
me
I,
too.
I haven't owned a practice at least for the past 6 years. I am again, but like we've been on a membership plan because it's the best thing for our family.
Yeah. Well, I did I dropped my insurance and did like a health insurance and did a catastrophic plan, and then I'm
Same.
building an HSA fund, which makes way more sense. That's what the insurance companies are doing. They're just grabbing our money, putting it in the market,
Now you control
building
it.
wealth from yourself. And I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's a better way to do it. But
I'll offer just like one other, like just to your point. Um, and this isn't necessarily a membership plan pivot, but
yeah,
I am a customer in every other sense of my life. So our air conditioning unit blew up the other day.
Sure.
And this is a big ticket item. And I'm not just going to do one thing. I called two different 5-star rated groups,
Yeah.
and they each send their person out. The first one's like, hey, we're going to get you the best deal here. Here's what it is. This is going to be the least expensive way that we can get you in there to get this done. And here's the cost. And simple. The other one came in and he said, hey, listen, um, we can talk about a number of different things. We could get you in here as inexpensively as possible. We can also talk about all the great premium options that we have, including like we could enhance your air filtration, which our air quality is trash here in Utah. We could
Yes,
put a
really bad.
system on there that's going to enhance it. Your air's dry. We have the best humidification system out there. Here's what you're going to notice, and here's what's going to be improved. And I got to be honest with you, with like electricity costs and everything where we are, if we went to this top of the line unit and the way that this motor works, instead of having variable speeds all throughout the day, you're going to actually have better, more consistent cooling, and you're going to save significant, probably about a third on the air conditioning bill on this thing. Now, the unit's more expensive. You're going to get better at this, that, and the other. And this is a lot more expensive unit, but we have a payment plan that makes it really easy. And we have a membership plan that covers all the service
Maintenance.
and maintenance and like all these other things. And it's like literally one package, really simple and like affordable. So like cheapo
Budget friendly. Yeah.
budget air conditioning, like which was I bought I bought something that the sticker price was literally double of what they were offering
Yeah,
me.
sure.
But they had a payment plan that made it stupid simple for me with 0%
Convenience.
interest, like because that's where their market is, and they upsold the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Am I a dumb customer for this? Right?
No.
You have the exact same thing going on inside of your dental practices right now.
Yeah.
If you're operating a dental practice, that patient can come into your practice and you get to choose whether you're that first option or you're the second option. And the exact same patient can go into another practice and choose a full mouth rehab that insurance doesn't cover a dime of. Like you just have to consider who you're going to be. And it all comes down to your behaviors and your skills in communication.
Yeah.
Like that's, it's funny. Shameless plug for me. What do we do to
Do
move the
it.
needle most with dental associates?
Yeah.
I teach zero clinical skills. There's been great clinical CE for 200 years. If the
Yeah.
problem in associates is clinical skills, it's because they're not dumb enough to look online and get the CE.
Yeah,
So the
sure. Yeah.
problem's not clinical skills. The problem is dentists don't understand the basic behaviors that build trust that get us to case acceptance. They don't have a case acceptance
So
process.
the
That's
people skills,
that's it.
the
We
communication.
teach dentists and teams what great case acceptance looks like, why it matters, and the basic 5 or 6 behaviors that make you a category of one and a 90th percent performer. The best dentists in the world aren't the best dentists because of their crown margins. They aren't their best dentists because of their implants or any of that crap. They're the best dentists because of their behaviors that drive case acceptance.
Yeah.
It's
I,
always been that way.
I agree with that. And like they could even have the best membership plan offer in the world, but if they don't know how to talk to
They still don't convert, do they?
still don't convert. No,
You
I've
see
seen
this
it.
every day in your
I've seen it.
customers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So no, that's really interesting. And
Yep.
when you guys work with your clients, is that
Yep.
like where do you start? Do you start with the communication? Because I would imagine it's two-sided, right? You got
It's two-sided.
communication with the dentist to the associate and dentist to the teams, right? And communication with team to patient, dentist to patient, right? Is that
Well,
kind of how you look at it? What do you
here's the
do?
truth of what we know.
Let's do
Um,
it.
the truth is that if we just solved for the case acceptance challenge with the associate, all you've done is you've created a higher performing dentist that's probably still going to go and leave elsewhere to go start their own thing or go to another practice.
Yeah, big
If
problem.
you don't solve for the fact that you have to have good clinical leadership systems and connect with them. In other words, what happened, we used to offer years ago, hey, listen, I'll do the quarterly one-on-ones with your doctors. I'll develop them. I'll coach them. I'll do all that stuff. They still left the practices, but they wanted to stay with me. Eric, I just turned in my notice, but can I still work with you? Because it's been really great. And I feel like I'm really growing. And that wasn't my goal. My goal was better
Sure.
long-term retention because that's what my customers, the practice owners
That's what
wanted.
they want. Yeah.
And so what we've discovered, Jordan, is that like if you don't solve for the way that you care for somebody, great standards, like healthy relationship to numbers, having meeting pulse and actually connecting with them, being able to train and develop them, being able to recruit great like if you don't do those things and you just move the numbers, it's not, you will have short-term benefit and not
Yeah.
long-term lasting stuff. And so, and like, hey, there's a lot of people in the world that would rather chug a Kool-Aid than like drink some water that like and some protein, and so
Chug
if
a
you want if
Kool-Aid.
it's a if you want lasting value and lasting growth, you have to do both things at the same time. So that's what we do. We've built all the systems somebody needs for to take great care of doctors and to have great clinical leadership. And so like we don't reinvent the wheel. We just say, here's the systems, let's install them with you. And then
Yeah.
at the same time, we train the dentists, the teams, and the managers on case acceptance. And that's great too, because like we don't charge per dentist or any of that stuff. Like it's simple because every team member, like the first thing, if I hire an assistant or a front office or a dentist, the most important thing is case acceptance. And
Yeah.
so we will onboard them into our system, our language, our terminology. Like we train, people use us for their new hire onboarding, and they're like, hey, we train their newest front office person and say, listen, you might not be actually treating patients, but everything you do from the moment you answer that phone to the way that you greet is increasing or decreasing case acceptance. Case acceptance is why we exist. Case acceptance is why patients come in. And this is the gift that we get to give our patients. Know these things, honor these behaviors, and be wise to it. So yeah, two verticals. I wish I've screwed up everything in my life 10 times. Like so
Welcome to the
we
club.
did just the dentist side for a long time. It didn't have lasting value. We integrated the teams, increased the value, but without the systems, didn't get anywhere. So do it all.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No, this is really good. So, all right, a dentist is like listening to this, and he's like, okay, he or she, madame, right, is what you said,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
ladies, whatever. Uh,
Uh-huh.
all right, so I got an
I don't know what the
associate.
correct terms are
I don't,
anymore, so
I
you
don't
can just
either.
say
It's a
anything. Yeah.
confusing time.
Yeah. Yeah.
The practice owner is listening,
Yes.
and he or she is like, oh man, I'm in this market. Profitability is struggling, or the costs are high, whatever they're looking at that's causing them grief. I got an associate. How do they work with you? Do
Yeah.
they book a time with you? They go to their
Yeah.
website. What do you got for them?
Yeah, well, we make it simple. I would say this first though. Like, how about we not think about me for a moment? My challenge to that doctor is to pause for a moment and get your head right and decide who you're going to be. Because I think the most important thing that we just said is like the data's not good, margins are getting pinched. You have two choices. Get your mind set and decide who you're going to be and what your future looks like. If you're going to tap out, like if you're done and you're just like want to be beat down and like just ride this into the sunset, don't like don't spend your money on anything. Just find a buyer, get out as quick as you can. You have to decide who you're going to be and how you're going to approach this. That's
Yeah,
what I would say first. That's my most loving.
such good advice.
Look in the mirror. I'm very serious when I say this. Get a counselor, get a life coach, get somebody that can help you sort through. And I will also tell you, there's not a right answer. You might be at a stage where that maybe the best thing for you is to tap out. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Like, but if you look at this though and you say, I'm going to overcome this and we're going to be great and we are going to innovate and we're going to be freaking amazing and we're going to give our patients our best. We're going to build a healthy team and we're going to crush this. Great. Now, the second question that I would answer, that I would ask you is I would say, do you have a documented best practice case acceptance process that you are measuring and that works all day long, every day? Your team is fighting for it. Nobody misses opportunities. Everybody knows their job. And if you don't even know what that would look like, you've got a gap. And that's why you should call us. Like you should reach out to us and we can talk about that, about how it works. We find that most people don't really have something there. They have the way they've done things, but that doesn't mean it's optimized. And so, if you want to learn more, go to dentalassociategrowth.com. We've got a ton of stuff to download. Set up a call, and we will just dig through where you are. What we do is designed for groups that are growing through associates. But newsflash: in the next couple of months, we are actually going to peel off our case acceptance product. has been so revolutionary and is driving so much success. The only people that
Interesting.
talk about case acceptance in our system right now are the full arch people. They talk about it, and
Mm.
yet they also don't holistically train the way that we do. And so, listen, if that's something that's attractive to you, like come check us out. Let us talk about how we can love on you and support you. And at the very least, like get you in the right space if it's not with us. There are people out there that talk about these things. I think the I think the thing that I've learned after 20 years in dentistry is that dentists crave complexity but need simplicity. And so the simpler the solution, the better
Yeah.
it'll be. Yeah.
Yeah, that is very true. I love that. No,
Spoken like a true dentist,
spoken like a true dentist. Absolutely, Eric. Okay, man. Well, I'm gonna put the you guys' website in the show notes.
buddy.
So
Yeah.
those of you that are listening, click that. Go check out what Eric's doing. Great guy. I have known Eric for a long time. I absolutely love what he's doing in the dental industry. So go check him out. And with that said, we hope everyone has a rocking day.
Yeah. Hope we built some value today. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.